I'm going to kick off this episode a little bit different. I'm just going to read the transcript, basically, I think you could say. I'm just going to read a conversation that happened in the group chat of me, Parker, and Luke. It kicks off with Luke saying, "So, I'm in Ocean City, right? So is Jason Kelsey. ... I send 3 question marks. He says, he's doing a fundraiser at a bar that's literally 5 minutes from my hotel. Parker, go say hi to him. Luke, LOL, I want to do bad." I think he meant so bad.
Or no, I thought he meant LOL, I want to do that.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought he meant so. Whatever. Anyway, he says, LOL, I want to do bad.
Oh, yes.
Parker, that's awesome. Me, wow, yeah, do it. Also have someone film it for you. Luke, I'll try. I don't know if I'll be let in. Me, you need proof. Luke, because I'm not 18. And remember, this is in a bar. Me, just lower your voice. Luke laughed at that. Me, and don't show ID. Parker, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Luke. You need to. Luke, a couple hours later. I won't be able to get in. It's 21 and over. Which makes sense because, again, it is a bar. Parker, aw, man, that sucks. Luke, so I just need to find somewhere that has fake IDs. Parker, yes, I have some, but I didn't know you would need them. Luke, you have fake IDs? Me, of course he does. Luke, of course. Parker, I'm just kidding. Or am I? Mwahahahahahaha.
Evil laugh.
And then like a sly look emoji. And then Luke laughed. And then Luke sent us a picture of a sick Eagles hat and Sixers hat that he got. So Luke's hat game is going to be very strong.
I think Luke has the best hat game out of anybody, to be honest.
Oh, he has to.
I don't think I know anybody with a better hat game. Owen is starting to rival him with the nice Dan Levitard hat.
Yeah, but I don't wear hats as frequently as Luke.
Oh yeah, Luke wears hats all the time.
Yeah, his hat game kind of has to be good. Because of how often he wears them. Imagine if he didn't have good hats and he wore them as much as he does. It wouldn't be pretty.
It wouldn't, no.
At all.
It makes it easy for us because, like, Christmas, just buy Luke a hat.
His birthday, collection.
Just buy him another hat.
Yeah.
And then he'll be super happy because he loves hats.
The next step is an all sports all the time hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a teaser. I don't know, I just came up with that. We'll see if we can actually
idea.
Pull that off. But this is episode 107, and I forgot to put my contacts in, so really? I can. The computer is probably like 2 feet away from me, so I can kind of see it, but I may have to pull it a little closer.
You know what I saw on Instagram? I saw a video of how contacts are made.
Oh.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I still don't understand it. It just
do they just like combine a bunch of like chemicals and then they set them in like a mold and then it just solidifies into a contact?
No, it's
How
weird.
Do they do it?
They like shave something off or something.
Of what?
I don't know. It was the video.
Okay, wait. I want you to break down as best as you can how contacts are made.
Okay, so you have like a rod-looking thing.
Okay.
You cut off the end of it, shave it, put it over onto the manufacturing belt, which then goes into like this water droplet thing. The water droplets come down onto the shaving part, and they form little water drops. Then you get these other drops that come in, and they drop onto the water drops, and then the water drops flatten and are pressed out, and then are squeezed together into another mold, and then that mold is cut again into little slices, like pepperoni slices, but like smaller.
Yeah, those would be big contacts.
and then they're like cut out like cookie cutters out of the slices in like these cookie cutter things, and then they're put back into another thing, and then the contacts.
That seems really complicated.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I didn't understand the video at all.
All right.
And
yeah.
That was only half correct.
Yeah, it was close enough. I'm sure they got the picture.
Yeah, they got the general idea.
They know the idea. So
they can hopefully see where I was going.
That was bad. So I have 2 intro topics this week, Parker. Both are music related.
Oh, I like music.
I'm just
I used to be professional.
Professional music?
Yeah, professional music. But then, you know, I quit chorus and it went downhill.
Yeah. Got kicked out of class for singing, and then...
Ever since then, it's just been downhill.
Yeah.
You know, like when you hit your peak too early.
You did. You hit your peak way too early in performance.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the podcast. I'm sure we have briefly. Parker was the star of every single elementary school. They weren't really musicals, but just like...
Yeah, they were half musical, half play.
Half concert.
It was mostly concert, but there was like thrown in play.
Every class was standing on risers, so it was like a chorus, but then everybody also had like a part that they played on the stage, so if that paints enough of a picture for that.
And the songs were like related to the play.
Yeah, like one year it was farm themed. Parker was Farmer Joe, the main character. And then it was color themed. Parker was the captain of the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
And then it was King Arthur, or it was either like medieval or King Arthur.
Yeah.
And you were the king.
And I pulled the boom whacker out of the stone instead of the sword.
Boom whackers were also the best.
There was 2 options. I remember that the most vividly. I could either pull the sword out of the stone or the boom whacker. And I pulled out the boom whacker, and then we went into a song with boom whackers.
It was great.
I loved boom whackers.
And then 4th grade, we stopped doing musicals, and it was just chorus, basically, a concert. It got boring after that.
Yeah, that was when it was boring, because then you couldn't, like,
act.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really did peak too early, 1st through 3rd grade.
I think 3rd grade was my peak, and then I went just downhill.
It's King Arthur. Yeah. Makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to give you the 2 music topics that I was randomly thinking of, and then we can talk about both, but I'll let you pick what you want to discuss.
Okay.
I'll just set it up, and I want you to talk about it more than me, because like I've already thought of it.
Okay.
It was random thoughts that came into my head this week, so I want to get your thoughts on them.
Okay.
The first option is walk-up music in baseball.
Okay.
Second option is how your brain processes music after doing different activities. That one's a weird one. I'll just...
Wait. Okay. Where are you going with
these?
That
well,
one?
We'll talk about both of them. Just which one do we want to talk about first?
Let's talk about the first one.
Baseball walk-up music. Okay.
Is that already a thing or no?
It is.
It is?
And the fact that you didn't know whether it was or not is kind of my point here. Walk-up music in baseball is such a cool thing.
Well,
and concept.
That would be awesome. Is there like Rocky, like...
Well, that's... Each player gets to pick their own walk-up music.
Okay, so it's kind of like handshakes in basketball.
So kind of. Yeah. Except way cooler, because it's like the announcer goes like, now batting, I don't know, Bryce Harper, and then the music is blasting. Like, it could create such a cool atmosphere, especially if it's like bottom of the 9th or something, and you've got this like classic because a player chooses new walk-up music every year. Sometimes they keep it the same, but like for a whole year their song will be the same, so like you know what song's playing.
Yeah.
And they can really just like
really
hype up a crowd when it's like, you know that this player's coming up, this song's about to play.
What's the best
Get
song?
Everybody fired up. The best walk-up music?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, is there any like good songs?
Ooh, I think the most like legendary one was when the 2003 Marlins won the World Series. Their leadoff hitter Juan Pierre had some walk-up song that he played that was like, that got the crowd going every time. I'm gonna look that up. While I'm looking that up, what would your walk-up... Basically what I was thinking was like, walk-up music in baseball is so cool, and yet so like wasted for some reason.
Well,
it could be way cooler than it is.
You know why? I have personal experience with this since I just was at a baseball game on Wednesday. And I realized why baseball is... why people don't like it and why people like basketball and football more.
Can't wait for this.
No, and I've said this in the past, and I'll reiterate it because I saw it firsthand. It wasn't that I disliked the game that I went to. It was a good game. I liked it. And I thought it was interesting. And there was like 8 home runs scored in the first like 4 innings, so it wasn't like there was no action going on. It was just that the in between time was so like it made it so slow and so like monotonous. So like the in between of like every time they switch positions, it's like they have to throw the ball like 50 times to each other, like in between. It's like, well, why don't you get right into it instead? It's not like you're running a ton, you know what I mean? It's like as soon as the outfield takes, like, they have to like pass the ball to each other. Like they've been doing that. They only do that once a game, maybe. Like once or twice a game, maybe the shortstop will catch the ball and throw it to first base. Like, but they do it like 50 times in between. Wait, how did that relate
50
to?
times. I don't know where you were going with
Oh,
that.
I was going. Walk-up songs, they would be good, right? They'd be good to get the crowd fired up. But then it just, there's so much in between time that the crowd would die down again before the next song. But if I was going to pick a walk-up song, this would be my song. The Buzz by Hermitude.
The Buzz.
Yep.
I don't know.
Do you want me to play it for you?
But, sure.
I think we've played it on the podcast before because it's a really good song and it's like gets me.
Oh, here it is. Okay. The song that Juan Pierre played, he was the Marlins leadoff hitter, right?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of every Marlins game, Juan Pierre's coming up. Their team is good, so the crowd's into it. It was "We Ready."
Oh,
by
that's
Archie
good. That's
Eversole.
good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
See, that'll get the crowd in it.
Yeah. So that was.
We ready.
Yeah.
So this
And
is
that with like a full stadium in the playoffs, like that is peak walk-up music. But I feel like it kind of gets wasted.
Yeah.
Partly, because like Parker said, baseball is slow.
But if it was faster, say they didn't throw the ball to each other and warm up in between every
Say
single
the
time.
pitcher didn't warm up.
No, the pitchers can warm up before the game. Like, do they need to warm ups that
Between
many
innings?
times? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
You got to keep your arm loose.
But think about it. The pitchers are so good, right?
Uh-huh. But their arms are so delicate because they're throwing like 90 to 100 miles an hour. So it's like very important to keep your arm super fine tuned.
Think about it. This is how you fix baseball. I'll fix another sport.
Just stop getting injured?
No, if you do get injured, right, from throwing that hard, because your arm isn't loose, that means that you have to throw less miles per hour. If you don't
it goes back to last week.
Exactly.
Just everybody throws 60 miles an hour.
Well, no, you would have to throw lighter if you don't want to get hurt from your arm because it's not going to be as loose.
Yeah.
That'll eliminate the downtime.
Problem solved.
Another good idea from me. Anyway,
right. You want to play what your walk-up music would be?
Yeah, it would be this. How many seconds do I have?
Probably like 10 seconds.
Really? Only 10?
Yeah.
Is that how long
They
it is?
pick like a 10 to 15 second segment of the song, probably.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I think you've played this.
Yeah, I have.
Now batting, number 32, Parker Wolf. Steps up to the plate. It's blasting throughout the stadium. Parker's standing there holding a bat in one hand.
Yeah,
Everyone's
that would
a little
get the crowd
confused about
going.
that. But yeah. So there you go. I was thinking about how walk-up music is super cool, but it's not cool anymore.
Well,
It's
and
kind of wasted.
yeah, but if you think about it, it's only like, I mean, maybe people have gotten used to it.
True.
Because it happens throughout the game, you know, like with every batter maybe. Like, you know, in basketball games they play like music, but it's like mainly at the beginning and like.
And then they have like kind of low-key music throughout the game, and then maybe they'll pump it up like at the end.
And well, basketball, so like I've been to a Phillies game, I've been to a Sixers game, and I've been to an Eagles game. Like I've been to multiple Sixers games, I'm just saying like in general I've been to all of them.
Yeah.
And the Sixers game was by far like in a way the best atmosphere because
Really? Better than the Eagles?
Yes, the reason why is because if you feel so far away from the field at the Eagles game.
Okay.
Like even if you're sitting in the peak seats like right behind the benches, you're still far away from the field. The Sixers, if you sit like even if you're sitting pretty far back, like not in like the front
The best
like
seats.
20 rows, even if you're sitting in row like 30, you're still way closer than you were at the Eagles game, and you're so like close together that the atmosphere is just so crazy because you can like literally see the players, like see how tall they are, see how big they are, And yeah, I just think the atmosphere is way better because it's more like confined too. The Eagle Stadium, it's open. I don't know. It just feels like it's like not as loud almost because you're farther away. Like there could be someone on the far other side of the stadium, and there's no way you're gonna hear them from where you're sitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can explain that.
The smaller, more condensed area
Yeah.
makes it just like feel a little louder and crazier, maybe.
Yeah, it makes the
than a
environment
bigger area.
Yeah, feel crazier.
Okay.
I don't know. That was my experience. I also didn't have like the best Eagles seats, like but it wasn't the worst Eagles seats either. It was like middle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I haven't been to an Eagles game or a Sixers game, so I can't really attest
You will.
to either of them.
We will be going to them by the time, but before we die.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
When we have money.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
When we have money to spare. See, but that right there, that's a liability. That's entertainment. From my book, you got to buy assets.
Your book?
Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's Robert Kiyosaki's book.
Okay.
But I'm reading it.
Parker wrote a book? Wow.
Oh, I should write a book.
You really should.
I would sell so many copies.
I would buy it.
Yeah. It would be a really good book.
It would.
And, I used to write in creative writing. And Owen knows I've had some pretty creative thoughts, so...
I think you all know from listening to this that Parker has some pretty creative thoughts.
Yeah, imagine all those thoughts jumbled and compiled in a book. That would be amazing.
We get so many good Parker quotes. Yeah, we should definitely get on that. What would the title of your book be?
That's the hardest part to come up with. You can't put me on the spot.
Okay. We'll brainstorm. We'll come back next week.
Well, I like writing the titles at the end.
What?
Yeah, I like writing the title of my book or short story at the end.
Oh.
Like in creative writing.
After you write it,
yeah,
you
I
go
would
back
just
and
write.
title it.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. Because I felt like it was easier. So I'm gonna have to write the book before I come up with the title. Because then
I guess you better get on that.
Yeah. Give me 1 week to write an entire book.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I would write the book about.
It would just be, I'm picturing it as like kind of an autobiography.
Okay.
It's just kind of like a mishmash of like life advice.
The first chapter
/ sports takes.
I'll give you guys a hint. The first
/ money advice.
Okay.
Which I guess would be life advice.
The first chapter is definitely going to be about drinking water out of a spigot.
Oh, your first memory.
My first memory.
Yeah. And then the second chapter is Jordan's the GOAT, Brady's the GOAT. Third chapter.
No, I like your take on
there's
no goats. There's just ever changing players through space and time.
Yes. There can't be just one GOAT. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then the third one would be like how to turn $100 into $100,000.
That's actually I was about to watch.
Which sounds very much like a scam.
I was about to watch a YouTube video on that. But yeah, there's no like really easy way to do that,
No.
But get rich quick, it's not real.
Get Rich Quick, the Parker Wolf story. That's the title.
Just ask Warren Buffett. See his investing strategy. I asked Warren Buffett when I met him last year.
Okay.
I asked him, Warren, your investing strategy, it's so easy. Why doesn't everybody do it? And you know what he said to me?
Because not everybody has enough money to invest the amount that I invest into things.
No.
Oh.
Because nobody wants to get rich slow.
Get Rich Slow, the Parker Wolf story.
Get rich slow. Exactly.
We have to make a bunch of mock book covers.
It would just be me going like, oh, what if I'm holding my book on the book cover?
Oh, and then you get that effect where it like keeps going in. Because like the book cover is on the book cover is on the book cover is on the book cover. Those are cool. I like those.
Yeah.
You should do that.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it's just
It's very meta.
Perfectly. Yeah. I like that. And it's just like, then I can like have a chapter about like looking into yourself and seeing your inner spirit, and it would just really relate to the book cover.
Yeah. And that really deep chapter would be sandwiched between the story of him peaking too early in elementary school performances and his creative writing stories.
Yeah.
It would be a great... Your book would be such a good mix of, like, that stuff and then something, like, actually super smart and then...
and then...
just Sixers talk.
Yeah.
Or something.
I
Why
think
Ben Simmons...
that
Why
could be
Parker is
amazing.
better than Ben Simmons.
Imagine if that book, like, I sell millions of copies and then, like, people are like, who the heck is this guy? Like, what's wrong with his brain?
I mean,
why is he thinking about so many different crazy
if
things?
people are buying the book, I think they'd be kind of prepared
I know.
for it, right? We got to grow the podcast, and then the book might be the next step. So we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. But my second music topic was, this is the stranger one. I have realized, this is very random.
Oh, yeah.
So just prep yourself for this. But I've realized that when I'm listening to music, occasionally it sounds faster or slower. Now, stay with me here.
Okay.
Obviously, the song itself is not like, with podcasts, there's like speed settings where you can play it at like half speed, 1.5, double. It's not, obviously I'm not doing that with the music, it's the same speed. But I think I've noticed that, like, say I've been playing basketball with my brothers in the driveway, and then I listen to music. The music sounds slower. Or say I've been sitting around kind of doing nothing, and then listen to music, the music sounds faster. I haven't done any research on this. I don't think there have been any scientific studies on it, but I think my brain, when I've been doing something active and like very involved, my brain is like running at a higher speed. So then when I'm listening to music, my brain, like, you know when athletes are like in the zone? I'm not comparing this to that, but it's a similar thing. You know when athletes are in the zone and everything kind of like slows down? It's because your brain is operating at like such a high level that it can really focus on stuff.
Yeah.
I think that this is on a much smaller level. When I'm doing something where my brain is like running faster and then I listen to music, it's like processing it more, and so it just like seems a little slower. Whereas when I haven't been doing much and my brain's like not really doing much, listening to music, it's like having a little more trouble keeping up with listening to it. I don't know, man. I've definitely experienced it many times where I'm like, why is this song going faster than normal? Or why is it so slow? It's weird. Do you have any thoughts on that? I don't know if it's just me.
My first thought is, this is definitely just a you thing. My second thought is, like, along the same lines, it's kind of like, well, sometimes I'm like, when I'm doing something else, I just am not thinking about the music, and then I look down and there's been like 3 songs that have played, but that's more like the reading thing where like you're reading the pages, but like you're not comprehending the pages. Like I'm not comprehending the music that's being played because I'm focusing on something else. But that's different. I don't really think that's ever happened to me. Man. Where the actual tempo and like rhythm of it is slower or faster. I just think
it's like the tempo. It's not like drastic, but yeah, tempo's like if the tempo gets bumped up from like 105 to 110, like a very slight increase
songs?
Is what it's
what
like.
Songs?
Oh, any song.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Huh. You should do some research on that. Like maybe
I'll do some research. I'll come back next week. I'll ask Luke. If you guys have ever experienced that, please let me know because I think I need some backup on this.
Now you can write your book. Yeah. Just figure out the scientific basis behind this claim.
The Speed of Music by Owen Lab.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, let's make sure that's not already taken.
It would be some type of... I don't know if it would even be specifically about music. It would have to be like some type of... I'd have to like ask a neurologist.
No.
Like,
okay, so
how does your brain function differently after doing different things? And how does that relate to your brain's processing of music?
Well, you know what I've read some pretty I've tried to read some pretty, the speed of sound is one, but not the speed of music. So you're good.
Yes.
The speed.
Perfect lane.
The speed of dark. Yeah, you're fine.
Wait, the speed of, was somebody trying to be clever, like a play on words there?
I don't know.
It's like, guys, guess what? I'm writing a book.
A 340-page book by Elizabeth Moon.
Well, her name's Moon, so I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Moon, dark, night, it makes more sense. But yeah, she probably thought that was like the best. Guys, I'm writing a book. You know how like the speed of light is like really fast? What about the speed of dark? Whoa. What a great play on words. I'm sure that book is fantastic.
Okay, anyway, I've read some like really smart books or tried to read some really smart books about like neuroscience and stuff. I could definitely see you like, I don't know, figuring it was about baseball and like, I don't know, some like reaction speed something. And I don't really remember a whole lot.
What was the name of that book? That does sound interesting.
I'll give you the book.
Okay. This is the second week in a row we've discussed books a lot.
Yeah, well...
We might have to start a book club.
Because you know what I was thinking? you can't just, you can lift weights, get stronger physically, but you need to lift weights for your mind. And reading is what makes your mind mentally strong. You always want to be growing and challenging your thought process to be a better person.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. I don't really have anything to add.
Well, no, don't hit your head with a nail.
I mean, no,
that would just
you hit
ruin
the
your
nail
brain.
on the head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You didn't hit my head on a nail.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you don't want to ruin everything that just happened from reading.
Speaking of strength of mind, that was wow.
Well, you know what happened?
Transition.
Some guy actually did get hit in the head with a nail. It just went directly through his skull. He was building a railroad, and it happened. They took out his. Well, no, actually, they never took out the nail. They took it out eventually, like a day later, but his whole left side of his brain was completely ruined. But his brain adapted, and so then he just used his right side of the brain for everything, and he was fine. He just went on living a normal life. It shows the brain's...
I don't know if any of that is true.
It is. I learned about it in psychology. Yep. Are you taking psychology next year?
I don't think so.
Okay,
so
well,
you'll have to give me a crash course. Not right now. We don't have the time. So you're alleging that a guy's whole skull was like a nail went in one end and came out the other.
Yes.
And they left it there.
No. It only you know how you have your left side of the brain and right side of the brain? It went like only through his left side.
Uh-huh.
So it went just completely through.
Uh-huh. And he didn't die, first of all.
No, he didn't die.
Not only did he survive,
his brain adapted to only use, it's like surgeries when they cut out the whole entire left side.
Uh-huh.
It was just his right side could do all the thinking.
What?
It's like, you know how they say you're only using like 10% of your brain power?
Well, yeah.
It's like that.
So he was using 20%. Because it doubled.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I've never really understood the using 10% of your brain power. I'm guessing maybe it's just because the other 90% is focused on things that like seem like very like moving my hand, like things that we do subconsciously.
Well, you know what I've always...
Maybe that takes up the other 90%.
No, that's just stuff that you've done so frequently that your brain doesn't even have to think about it anymore.
So that's a 0% or point.
Yeah.
So what's the other
like
90%?
0.00001. It's not being used. Who knows?
That doesn't. Okay.
Well, it's like you know when somebody's trapped under a car and they suddenly have strength to lift up the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's from your brain like pumping out hormones and endorphins and stuff. But like I don't know, like.
So you just from the last 5 minutes we've discovered that the way to unlock your brain is have a nail go through half of it, or get trapped under a car. Those are really the only two ways.
Yeah, pretty much. Or
you're welcome.
It's like you know when you were in English class, the guy was about to die, right? In that story at the end of the year, he was hanging from the bridge. He was about to die.
What English class is this? Which year?
Last year. This past
last year.
Yeah.
The guy was hanging on a bridge.
Yeah, and he was about to die, but his like brain slowed down, kind of like in the zone for athletes, like you were saying. His brain slowed down and he was able to like dodge the bullet or whatever.
Wait, there was a bullet involved?
Yeah, he was getting shot. They were about to shoot him.
And he was hanging on a bridge.
Yeah.
How did he end up in a scenario where he's hanging on a bridge and he's getting shot at?
It turned out that he had already died and that his imagination made up the entire story.
What?
Did you not read this?
No.
Okay, well, it was a good story.
What English class did you read that in?
Mr. Lead, in the end of the year, like the very end of the year.
I did not. No, that didn't happen at all for me. Very straight. Dude, your stories today have been out there. I don't know.
I know. I don't know. This is...
Wow.
I'm just like, I'm in the zone, I guess.
That was... Nice.
Thank you.
Good callback. Headlines this week. Well, this first one is kind of part headline, part me being frustrated.
You mean...
Okay.
Brain line?
Hairline? Whatever. MLB's All-Star Game is in a week. Baseball's in trouble. There are so many great, especially in the All-Star Game, But, like, there are so many great players in baseball right now. We got Shohei Ohtani, the best two-way player ever. Better than Babe Ruth. He's on pace for 60 home runs. He has a 3 ERA. It's ridiculous. We have the best pitcher ever. Jacob deGrom, throwing 100 miles an hour and has a .6 ERA. We've got one of the top 5 players of all time in his prime, Mike Trout. And as I'm mentioning Mike Trout, Parker's over here yawning.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It shows...
We've got great young players, Tatis, Soto, Acuna Jr., exciting young guys. All of the ingredients to create a popular sport and get people interested in baseball. But no.
It's like you've got a little pepper, you've got Tatis. You've got some tomatoes. That's Mike Trout. You've got Shohei Ohtani, which is the basil. But there's no soup. There's no spoon to stir all the ingredients together to make the soup. So it's therefore not changing and becoming, and then you take a bite out of it, and it's just a bunch of chompy, sodium-filled nothingness.
I couldn't have explained baseball with a better metaphor than that.
Exactly.
That perfectly summarizes the predicament baseball's in. Baseball's in trouble.
It is in trouble.
It's in trouble.
They've got to adapt. They've got to evolve, and if they don't do that, they will become nothingness, just like the bite of stew I just tried.
Wait, I thought it was soup. What's the difference between soup and stew?
I think soup is more runny.
Oh, okay.
And
stew just kind of sounds a little less, like, dignified.
Yeah.
Stew sounds like you just kind of threw something together.
Stew sounds like it's cooked in a crock pot. Soup sounds like it's cooked by witches.
No, what?
Yeah.
Stew is witches.
No, soup.
A witch prepares a stew, not
no.
a soup. No, what?
They prepare
a soup is way nicer than a stew.
No.
You think you'd rather have a stew than a soup? I'd rather
Yeah.
have a soup than a stew.
I don't like soup.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of soup. I like chicken noodle soup.
Like,
But like,
who created that word?
In
Soup.
general, soup.
I
I'm
want
not a
some
huge fan
soup.
of it.
How
But
do you spell soup?
SOUP.
Exactly, it's soap with a U. It makes no sense.
Soup. Soap with a U.
It's sour with a P.
I'm not a huge fan of soup in general. There are a couple that I like. But stew, like just saying that we're having stew sounds worse than we're having soup.
No, I disagree.
No? Have you ever had a stew?
No. I also have never had soup. But I just,
you've never had soup? I don't believe that.
I just know I don't like
You have to have had soup at some point.
No.
Any type of soup.
No.
You've never had soup at
No.
all, ever?
No. I just never like
What?
it. I just don't like it, so therefore I don't try it. Yep.
You don't...
I've had Chick-fil-A sauce, if that counts.
That is not soup. Not
that doesn't
quite.
count?
Not quite.
Okay.
No.
Well, so then I guess I've never had soup. No.
You've never... Wow. That's shocking.
I've had, like the melted cheese that
No.
you dip your bread in.
No.
Um,
Queso.
queso, yeah.
No, that's not. I will warn you, the worst soup I've ever had is beef barley soup. Beef barley
That
soup
just
is
sounds
not
terrible.
good. It's not good.
People are like, oh, try this tomato basil soup. It's like, well, that's just tomatoes and basil thrown and smashed together. It's like, if I want that, I might as well just go eat a tomato with some basil leaves on it and just take a bite out of it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
It
pointless.
basically, the what soup does is it takes a bunch of ingredients that are generally good, and it's like, you know what, we're just going to throw them in a pot of liquid.
Exactly.
The
And
concept isn't really
I
that
just
strong.
don't like the consistency and like,
No, me either.
like smoothies.
like
I think it's like the smoothie of vegetables in my opinion. No, think about
It kind of is, except that with the smoothie, it kind of blends everything together, and in a soup, they're still like separate enough
Exactly.
that you can tell it. Yeah,
can tell.
Actually, I'm with you.
Thank
it's like
you.
it's a poorly executed vegetable
Very
smoothie.
yes. And even if it was fully disintegrated together, like tomato basil soup, I would not want that. It's like you don't want kale in your smoothie. Like some people are trying to be healthy.
Oh, I
that's like
put
a
kale in
trend.
my smoothie.
Well, yeah, except
It's fine because you can't taste it. It's blended up in there.
yeah, exactly.
I put kale and spinach in my smoothies, and I'd never have them other than in smoothies.
Exactly.
But in a smoothie, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you were to place kale leaves or spinach leaves in a soup, you can tell they're in there. I did not think this would go from railing against baseball to railing against soup. But, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of... I want to keep... This is interesting. There are 4 soups that I have, like, not consistently, but, like, there are 4 main soups that I've had, like, more than probably 5 times. Mm-hmm. Chicken noodle soup is good. Big fan of chicken noodle soup.
I like chicken and I like noodles. I don't like chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup is the only soup that I'm like, yes, I love eating that. Tomato soup is I'll tolerate it, but I do not like tomato soup. I have had a potato soup, which is like mashed potatoes.
Ew.
But like
with liquid.
More liquidy.
Oh, it's just disgusting.
It's not bad.
Oh,
it's kind
terrible.
of on the same plane as tomato soup, where it's like, if I have to. And then beef barley soup is just awful. Beef barley soup is so bad.
Yeah,
You should ask Ella to make beef barley soup.
No.
Just so you can try it.
No.
To experience it.
No, I'd rather her just make beef. It's so much easier. Instead of cooking the beef...
No, I'm pretty sure that's the problem with soup. I think I've heard my mom say this before, is that soup is super easy to make. So that's probably why people
take the
make
easy
it.
way out. I was gonna...
Said the guy who's not making dinner.
Hey, don't judge me. I tried making pancakes the other day.
And whoa, I need this story. How did that go?
Okay, so first up, right, I got home from basketball. I was so hungry, and there was pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes there. I ate 5 of them.
Oh, okay.
But it was not enough, and I was still hungry. And I looked around the house. There was nothing else besides pancakes.
Pancake mix.
Pancake mix. Well, no, but it wasn't. It was just the dry mix.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, I know what I have to do, but I don't want to do this. So I get the pancake mix, right? I get it out of the container. I take it out. It says the directions on the back of the cup, or the back of the box. And so I try and follow the directions. It says pour 1/2 cup into a bowl. So I know it said 1 cup, but there was only 1/2 cup worth of stuff. So I poured 1/2 cup worth of stuff into the bowl. But then I accidentally poured, and then like it said add milk, right? The same amount of milk as the stuff. So it said 1 cup for both, but I forgot that it was only 1/2 cup that I poured into the mix. So then I poured more milk.
Oh no! You poured twice as much milk as you needed.
Yes. So then, right, I mix it all together in the bowl, and it's looking really runny, and I'm really confused. But I've never made pancakes, so I'm like, hey, maybe this is normal. And so then I put my griddle on. I turn the griddle on, and I pour the mix out into it.
Was it a little runny?
Yeah.
Due to the extra milk.
It never like formed. So
wait. So instead of forming like the little circles it's supposed to, it just kind of like
it just
spread across the griddle.
Yes, it's spread. So it's spread out across the entire griddle.
So you just had like a puddle of pancake mix.
Yeah. So I had just one giant sheet of pancake mix, right? And it was super thin. It was about like this thin. Okay, so then when I thought it was cooked and I had to flip it, I tried.
You tried to flip it?
Well, I needed to cook the other side. I tried to flip it.
Oh my word!
I tried to flip it, and when I flipped it, it all just crumbled away. So I had like these maybe like inch pieces of pancake.
Wow.
And so then when it was all said and done, it looked like scrambled eggs, but with pancake.
And you ate it all?
Yeah, and I...
Oh, wow. So
Needless to say, I'm still not good at cooking.
Oh, that is so great. I wish I could have seen that.
That's
fantastic. Nobody was home, so no one else.
No, my mom was home.
Oh, did she have anything to say?
Well, I asked her, I asked Ella, I asked Cammie, I asked them all to cook me pancakes. They all said no.
It was all their fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had to do it, and it didn't work.
Did anyone see, like, in the middle of it? Did anyone, like, walk through the kitchen, like, oh,
Yeah.
what happened here?
Yeah, and then my mom said, "This is why I buy you Chick-fil-A."
Oh, that's what this is. This is really just a super brilliant long game that you're playing, tricking everyone. You probably could make pancakes or whatever if you wanted, but you intentionally mess it up so that you get Chick-fil-A. That is brilliant.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're acting like you can't cook just to get the Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
So smart. What a great con.
Speaking of being smart, this is like probably I was gonna say it was our most like smartest episode ever, until we got into how dumb we've been cooking pancakes and.
Wait, whoa.
How dumb I've been when it comes to cooking.
No, I've burnt popcorn before.
I still have many scars from my cooking days. Anyway, just to name a few, I've just got burns basically everywhere from just terrible cooking mistakes.
We should do a cooking show with you and Luke.
That would be
It'd be super dysfunctional because Luke would just be getting mad at you for doing stuff wrong the whole time.
Oh,
It'd be hilarious.
The end product would be delicious.
Oh, I'm sure it would. We should do that.
Just not in the way you think.
That one's in the works. All right, we got to kind of run through these headlines really quick. The NBA playoffs, by the time this comes out, it will either be Bucks Suns or Bucks Hawks Game 7 to determine who plays the Suns. Super excited for the NBA Finals to be Suns versus Bucks. Battle of the Chris's.
Battle of the Chris with a C versus Chris with a K. Which one's going to win?
Great.
Wait, no. Do you like Chris with a C better or Chris with a K?
Like, just spelling it, if I were to name somebody, I'd say Chris with a C, just because
Yeah,
that's
me
like
too.
the standard way of spelling it.
Chris
With the K is a little weird.
I think it is a
It's
little,
a little
weird.
out there for me.
And
but
then you got
yeah.
the secondary. You got Devin versus Drew.
And then, on the third level, you've got Brooke versus Cameron. Which, when I say that, you don't even know if that's a girl versus a girl, guy versus a guy. Brooke versus Cameron could literally be whatever.
And then you've got
I'm just gonna keep listing players here.
you've got Dante versus Cam, as in
Yep.
Cam Johnson,
Yeah.
and Cameron Payne for the other one. You got
Well, I already said Cameron, but you know.
that's why there's two different players. Cam.
Basically, the champion of basketball is going to be determined most likely by a guy named Chris, which I just think is hilarious.
Now, do you like Chris from State Farm or do you like Chris from,
Jake from State Farm?
No, Chris from State Farm, like Chris Paul,
Uh-huh.
or Chris from nothing, I guess. Chris from the Bucks. I couldn't think of any commercials he was in.
Like, who do I like? Like, who I think is going to win?
No.
Or who do I like better as a player?
I was asking the audience,
Probably
not you.
CP. Okay, whatever. Sha'Carri Richardson will not be able to run in the Olympics because she tested positive for marijuana. She will be serving a 1-month suspension, and that 1 month happens to be the month that happens once every 4 years, the Summer Olympics.
Or 5 years, depending on if COVID happens.
Depending on whether or not there's a worldwide pandemic.
But if there is, then, it'll get delayed a little.
Yeah. But it's a tough situation because
It's really tough. So, like,
technically this isn't against the rule is you're not supposed to smoke marijuana.
like it's in the
You're
rule
getting
book.
tested.
She said that she knew about it, but it's the dumbest rule that there is in the world. It's like if I were to break a rule, right, of not being allowed. Say there was a rule, you're not allowed to walk. Right? But it's legal to walk. I should be allowed to walk.
It's legal in 19 states to walk.
It's legal in 19 states to walk,
And
theoretically.
in the state you walked in,
And in the state,
it's legal.
And I walked in the state.
It's a great metaphor.
And it was totally legal, but against the Olympic, it is illegal. And they said when they drug tested me for walking that it was in my system. And therefore
You walked earlier today, didn't you?
And so it's unfortunate. It's like it's against the rules, but it's a dumb rule,
Yeah.
It's if anything, it's like a performance slower.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not like this made her run faster.
Yeah, it's not like it made her run. But hey, speaking of things that can make her run faster, I was thinking this over earlier today. Say that might slow her down a little bit, right? Taking marijuana.
Yeah.
So this might gain her like 0.05 of a second if she stops taking marijuana.
Anything.
If she cuts her hair is really long, and there's a little extra weight. if she like cuts it maybe like this, like my hair, and more aerodynamic, less bouncing on the shoulders makes it more comfortable in her stride.
Every ounce matters.
Every single little detail. That's another 0.05. And then you got another 0.05. Her nails are really long, and they're ineffective in slicing through the air because it just slows down with every air gets in those little pockets because they come out from her finger, and the air gets in there, it slows down a little bit.
I'd say just cut your nails off completely. Like no nails at all.
Well, or
super aerodynamic.
Even, look at my nails. There's no air pocket getting in there. That saves another 0.05. She'll be the fastest female to ever run a race.
There you go. Speaking of rules that are made by organizations but don't apply to anything else in life, college athletes can finally make money off of their name, image, and likeness despite the NCAA
I
saying that they couldn't for years. Yes. We could do a whole podcast episode on just this. We probably should at some point if it's ever like a slow sports week. We could talk about this for a long time.
Yeah. Well, because the rule was, right, amateur, like the athletes.
A college athlete is an amateur. They're not a professional.
And
therefore, they should not be paid at all for anything.
But if you look at the real world and life, as soon as you turn 18, you're an adult.
And college is supposed to prepare you for life, is it not?
Is it not? Are you not an adult as you enter college? Henceforth,
yes.
Therefore, it makes no sense.
I don't know if they explain that super well, but...
And now it makes sense.
Yes.
Because they can profit off their name.
Yes. In the real world, if somebody is popular and a brand wants to sponsor them, they are able to make money off of that.
Uh-huh.
But in college, for some reason, because you're an amateur, that means you cannot make money off of your success or popularity.
And this is why college makes no sense. You might as well just follow my lead.
And now Parker gets in his plug for anti-college.
No, hey, I'm not anti-college. I'm only anti-college a little.
You're not going to college.
I'm not anti-college, I'm just not going to college.
Yeah.
So I'm not...
You're only anti-college a little? What does that mean, though?
Like, only if you don't need to.
Oh, okay. Like, there's certain...
Yeah.
times you need
like,
to go to
I'm
college.
not... Like, you don't need to go to college for every single thing like it is... Like, everybody thinks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that... if you don't want to...
Would you say you're 25% anti-college? Or maybe more like 35%?
I would say I'm a different percentage based on your situation in life.
That was episode 107. Thank you for watching, everybody. Big episode next week. Parker and Luke solo. Well, together, but like...
Flying solo.
They're flying solo together, but it's just them, so... All right.
So it's duo.
Oh, man.
Episode 107.
Okay.